So today, y'all, I'm going to talk about my personal experience with PTSD. I advocate for all different kinds of mental illnesses, but I realize in sharing my stories, I really only have been talking about my experience with having bipolar. I don't really talk about PTSD. So today is PTSD day for me. I could go on and on and on about my experience with that, but to make things simpler and viewer friendly, I suffered from PTSD in my teens and through pretty much throughout my 20s, more so my early to mid 20s. As I'm getting closer to 30, it hasn't really been that bad. Sure some of you have heard me say before that I've come from trauma, I've come from a colorful background. And without going into detail, in particular, I would have issues dealing with men. I don't know what my triggers were to this day. I honestly don't, with a specific symptom, that being nightmares. I would have nightmares, never knew when to expect them, never knew what caused them, but they would be the same 3 recurring nightmares. Y'all gotta listen to my baby in the background. Apparently she got a story to tell too. She is all with me on this whole share my experience thing. What's wrong with the baby? I guess she done sharing, so I guess I'll go back to sharing. But my husband and few people in my past, they would see me fight in my sleep and they would have to physically restrain me. Or if I was sleeping, one of my old friends that I used to room with or share a house with, she would come to my room sometimes and see me fighting in my sleep, and she would try and wake me up. It was terrible, and I never knew what triggered these. But I didn't even realize until years later that this was a form of PTSD. And that was just one of the symptoms there. It would be so bad sometimes that I couldn't look men in the face. I felt uncomfortable with them. I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want to be by them. I didn't trust them. I would always want to be with someone else, a man that I either knew very well or another woman, just to be able to deal with meeting new men or being around men that I wasn't necessarily familiar with. And that wasn't specifically when I was a teen and in my early 20s. It would be so bad that I would flinch if a man came near me, or a simple handshake would make me break out into a sweat. I would get nervous. I would lose my train of thought. I wouldn't be able to speak. And for y'all that know me well, y'all know I don't have a problem with talking. So that was unusual for me. And the interesting part of having these symptoms was the fact that I was a very promiscuous teen. And in my very early adulthood, before I went off to college and started having children, a very interesting component in having a form of PTSD is sometimes you do the things that would be triggers. It's like you almost compulsively perform in activities that would trigger you. And here I was having these different encounters with these different men, yet I was afraid to even talk to them. And that was something that still really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But in different counseling sections and learning more about me and the different things that I deal with, a lot of things about different mental illnesses, disorders, especially PTSD, don't always make sense. But it was embarrassing for me. I got to the point where I didn't even want to go to sleep around people because I was so afraid that I would have these nightmares. And people thought it was funny and I would laugh along with them, but on the inside I was mortified, because honestly, who fights in their sleep? That's not normal. And God knows what I would say, and that was a period of time where I wasn't as comfortable with sharing those personal parts of my life. So I would be around complete strangers sometimes and wonder, oh my God, what the heck did I say in front of these people? And when you're in college, you're surrounded by all kinds of people, and you fall asleep, you go to parties, you had too much to drink, yada, yada, yada. You never know who you're going to be around and what intimate things about your life that you share with complete strangers. That may sound funny because that's exactly what I'm doing now, but it's by choice now, because I'm no longer ashamed of it. I've owned it. It's a part of my past. It is a part of who I am today, and those are experiences that I won't be able to change. So it's no point in being ashamed of them now. Even with coming out and talking about my promiscuity as a teen, I'm not by any means proud of it. I have a better understanding as to why I may have behaved that way now, but it is who it is, and it's part of who I am. I can't do anything about it now, but this is why I'm sharing, because we have stories. They are not pretty. They are embarrassing. They do not make us look that great, but they are a part of us. And once you accept that, and once you stop caring about what it makes you look like, what other people may think, because at the end of the day, what other people think often does not affect the things that matter to you, like those deposits that in your checking account every 2 weeks or every week, or how often you get paid, the bills at your house or wherever you stay, those getting paid, the food that is or is not in your fridge, the gas is getting put in your tank, your well-being, period, you getting yourself taken care of, seeing about yourself. People's opinions don't affect me. So here I am, putting myself on Front Street for that exact reason, because I feel as if people see everyday faces doing that, they'll be more encouraged to do the things that they need to do for themselves. And that's my only goal. That's why I keep putting my stories out there and sharing my experiences and my thoughts, because I want people to feel comfortable enough to make that step to do what they need to do for themselves, because mental health is real, and the more we push that message out there, the better it will be for everybody. We need to start treating mental health as if it is a physical ailment, because it's just as dangerous to leave it unchecked. So that is all today, guys. That is my PTSD tidbit. Maybe one day I'll go more into depth, but today, the day. See you guys later.